So there are so many countless Bluetooth speakers out there, but there are a few models that do set themselves apart from the rest. Certainly when you take a look at what is on offer with their premium sound, build quality, and features they do offer. And I'm talking about Soundcore, and this is their Motion X500. This model has 3 full range speakers, up to 40 watts, IPX7, waterproof, so no problem using this down at the sea, down at the beach, alongside the pool. Getting any water on it will not be an issue, and it has a solid runtime of up to 12 hours. It also does have spatial audio, which most models do not have out there, and LDAC support. It streams at 990 kilobits per second. It's far superior than SBC and AAC codecs, and what is on offer here in this package from Soundcore, as you'll see, is very good, really premium and high quality sound with plenty of bass. Now they do also have this model, which I've covered previously, and I'll talk about it a little bit in this video. It is the Motion X600, which is an even more premium offering from them with 5 full range speakers and up to 50 watts. This is the Motion X500, so we've got 40 watts maximum output, spatial audio, LDAC support, 3D metal mesh here, all metal. The handle's metal, feels great, premium, excellent build quality. So we have the 3 dynamic drivers in this model, and up the top here, this is the one that gives us that spatial audio. So instead of the sound just coming out the front of it, also coming out the top, very immersive, great sounding too, and I'll give you a sample later on. So we have power on, Bluetooth. This is to cycle through the 3 different modes. So spatial signature, spatial dynamic, and then the bass boost and our media controls. So this is all metal around the outside. Along the back here, you'll see that there's a gasket, and that covers where our Type-C port is. So battery runtime here, we're looking at 12 hours using AAC or the SBC codec. And as long as this gasket, rubber gasket, is in place covering that Type-C port, you have that IPX7 waterproof rating, so no problems if this gets a bit of water on it. This is our application from Soundcore. I really like it because it's straightforward and simple, like apps should be, I think. Here we have the Motion X500, volume controls right here, start and stop all music, and then below is the equalizer. So when you're pressing the mode button, it's not just a simple mode button, because that is what it's doing now, is cycling through our different equalizers. So I've got spatial dynamic, bass boost, and then the spatial signature, which is the default one. And this is where you go in to customize the color. So if I decide that, well, I don't want it to be green anymore, I prefer that this be blue or purple, I'll set it to blue now and see how that is synced over, that has changed. And you can also go along and set your own custom if you want. Now, if you decide you want to boost up the highs or the lows, then you can go and adjust it in here, which is really handy to have this, and set your own custom equalizer. And just to show you quickly, we do have some settings in here. So you got the auto power off, the firmware updates, and most importantly, right here is where you'll find our sound mode. So if you want to use the LDAC codec, this is where you do swap it over in the app. And Soundcore's Motion X600. So these are for people that want something that has more premium sound. It has 5 full range drivers within it. We still get the Sky driver at the top. This model here, while being a little bit larger and bulkier, does also have a better output. So this is 50 watts versus the 40 you get with the X500, and it's high res certified. Line in here too, you can see that it's got 3.5mm input along with the Type-C port, so that's another thing that separates it from the Motion X500, and it also is the high-res wireless certified with LDAC support, just like the other model. So up the top there, we've got our power, Bluetooth to cycle through the different modes, bass, boost, the media controls right here on the right. Onto a quick sound sample now. So it is really good, and everyone who has heard the Motion X500 in action has been pleasantly surprised. Most people have been blown away by it, going, wow, that bass, considering how small it is impressive. But unlike other loudspeakers that I have tested out in the past, they don't skimp on the highs, so we still get some details there, and the highs go up to 40 kilohertz. The Sky driver certainly helps out too as well with that spatial audio. And so it's directing the audio out and upwards, and then the 2 drivers at the front are going outwards. So that's why it does sound a lot different compared to other speakers The mids, the bass, very powerful, great volume. It can certainly fill a room. So the first sample I will give you is with their signature, Spatial signature. Then after that one, it is the Spatial dynamic, and finally the bass boost, where you're going to hear a big difference with the bass. It goes up quite a bit, really does boost up those lows. And as you hear, impressive. Now I do have a directional mic, which I'll be swapping over to, that is going to be recording this sound, not my lav mic, so it's a bit more full range, just to give you an idea, but you've got to hear this in person if you can, because it is impressive. So this is Spatial signature. All right, that sounds good. And now over into the Spatial dynamic. And this last one, which is the bass boost, which I think a lot of people are going to use, and you'll hear the difference. The lows now really powerful. Wow. A lot of bass for such a small unit. Just up the volume a little. Very good, powerful bass. And we do have some nice details there with the highs. It doesn't lack on the highs at all, which I often find a lot of speakers are, but certainly not the case here with the Motion X500. So I've got it now at the moment with the spatial audio off. What I'll do is play a track here from carbon-based Liveforms, and I'll give you a signal, and then I will turn it on. We'll see if we can hear a difference. I know I'll hear the difference, but I've got a lav mic on and another directional, but it's just to give you an idea here. Okay, I can hear that it's a lot more immersive. It really does space that sound out. And of course, ideal listening position would have it in front of me there, not to one side, but it's just for the purposes of the video so you can see the speaker. So the bass boost mode, again, I'm going to test it out with the same track here from carbon-based Liveforms. So spatial audio off now, and the bass boost not on. I've set the volume to 90%. Let's have a listen. So I'll give you that signal when I turn the bass boost on. Okay, it is hard to reproduce that sound because you have to really be here in person with the microphones and things, but you do notice that. And where I like to use it is when I'm listening to music at lower volumes and I find that the lows, the bass there just isn't sufficient. I want a bit more oomph. I turn it on. It's good for that. And it's actually good for if you're watching, say, movies or something, streaming content too, and you want a bit more bass explosions in the movies and whatnot, then it's great for that. The built-in microphones too as well is another thing that I wanted to mention. You don't have to scramble around trying to find your phone, disconnect Bluetooth to answer calls. No, because of the microphones being built in, you can handle calls through the speaker here. So up to 40 watts, and it does have the app with the customizable equalizers there, the customizable light at the top, the spatial audio, that LDAC support, and a runtime of up to 12 hours. And if you want even more premium, well, there is the larger model, not quite as portable, Motion X600, that has fantastic sound that is, yes, better than the X500. This one's more about the portability, but both of them are excellent options. So if you want to know more about these models and their pricing, do check the link in the description of this video. And thank you so much for watching my hands-on here with the Soundcore Motion X500 and the X600.